Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at some very early bizarre grips picks. Numerous variations here going back to as far as over 110 years ago to 1904. There's quite a lot to go through here, so we're going to go right at it right now. I've arranged these in a fairly chronological order, starting with the oldest up here. These first three rows here being from 1904 to 1925, 1930, and these bottom rows here being mostly 1930 into 1940, with this one here known to go into the 1950s. The only one I believe of the group that is that late. Otherwise, they're all pretty old. Let's go up to the top left here at the side L, 1904, patented pick. There's three picks, all the same gauge. They fold up. It's kind of like the switchblade of picks. In his construction, made of 5 different pieces of material, 5 pieces of celluloid, and with a rivet in the middle. Folds up, really unique. Really exquisite and unique celluloid as well. Really cool pick. Side L 3-tip, 1904. Next, we're going to take a look at the Gaynor vacuum pick right here from 1911. This has a metal cup grip on it, fastened by a grommet of some type, and it actually has the patent information right in the cup grip. We could just fairly make out the letters here due to the lack of the camera being able to focus here. So we can't see it. But the reason I have 3 here is variations in celluloid. Anytime I come into variations of old stuff like this, I do want to keep all the variations. And here, the one in the middle, looks like it might give us a look at that patent date, hopefully. Nope. And hopefully we could catch some of these others, because they were pretty fond of putting their patent information on their picks back then. Next we go over to these rubber plugs, the Knackstedt multiple variations here. We see the size at the top, which was the first one that was produced. These from here over to here. From here to here, these all have the patent information on it. We see variations in shapes down here. At least 1, 2, 3, 4 variations in shape or style, either having 3 or 2 plugs. The 2 pluggers are very rare, and this celluloid, in fact, here goes back to 1895 at least. So there's a possibility that this was the precursor to this actually being patented, unknown at this point. I'm going to see if I can't grab one of these. Earlier I was able to get it to focus, and you could, there it is. You could see it says the word patent on it, and down below it actually says November 1914 beneath it. The Knackstedt, very cool pick. Here's a variation here with very large rubber plugs compared to the ones next to it and surrounding it. You could see the difference in size of those rubber plugs. And various types of celluloid used on these. And the triangle Knackstedt is also exceedingly difficult to come by. Any Knackstedt, period. Just to own one is quite an accomplishment. So that's the Knackstedt 1914. Moving over here to the Aaron Birdwise pick, 1918. That is Burdwise wire loop. And Aaron has his information on here too. Take a look at that. It's focused earlier. Look at that. April 23rd, 1918, impressed right on the pick. It would be very difficult to fake something like this today. Fortunately, there aren't people out there faking vintage picks, and that is a relief. Moving down to the third row here, we have the Cork Grips, the Carpenter and Tanner 1918 Cork Grips. Some of them labeled vacuum grips, these here with the holes in them, also called vacuum grips. So we have this up here called a vacuum grip, this called a vacuum grip. It says vacuum grip right there. Look at that. And how many shapes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 distinct shapes. And these two 351 shape picks are very early 1920s 351s. This one here, this is about 1930, and it has some usage around the edges here. But it's amazing that you could have picks of this age, and most of these picks haven't been used at all. They've been found in pristine condition. A few have. So you can see there have been quite a few variations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different shapes, minimum, of the cork grip. And these were made here in Palo Alto, California, I believe. And Frank Ford of Gryphon, he actually has a machine that produced those. Amazing, amazing story surrounding that. So to have these pieces of equipment that are nearly 100 years old still hanging around is just awesome and should be in a museum. Looks like we're having some focus difficulties here. I don't know what's going on, but okay, that kind of reset it there. Hope it wasn't out of focus too long, folks. Sorry about that. But we're going to move over here to these hearts. Harold and Meinl catalog, 1910, Germany. Actually shows these with a heart punch in the center. Moving down, I'm going to move down to this one now. Look at, wow, talk about metal. I saw this pick in a patent that I downloaded in the year 2000. I couldn't imagine I'd ever come across it, but no one else was familiar with it. So when I saw it on two of them on an auction site, in fact, I got them for very little money because no one seemed to be interested in them. Fortunately, I had background, and I was just stunned to have it acquired that pick. And we're going to see the patent on that later. Right down here, we have a German cup grip. And this is the German style. Wasn't made in the U.S. You could see it has that cup grip feature there, intended to hold your fingers. Here we have a Bacon and Day, circa 1926, 1930, with advertised as a felt grip. This is a star pick, is in a 1940 U.S. catalog right here. And then we have these Gretsch non-skid picks going back to the 20s and 30s. Unusual grip attachment, which we rarely see on a trapezoid. And looks like it does have a rough surface to it, but it looks as though that could have been the bedding for a piece of cork that is worn off. Very interesting pick, only one I've ever seen. And this one here that looks so mundane actually has these very thin groove lines in it. I don't know if you could see it, but I showed those in a late 1920 or 30 catalog. Here we have a cushion grip, but this one came from Germany. I'm convinced it's a German-made imitation of DeAndre, or vice versa. Who knows who imitated who? But that could be a controversy of which I'm not going to decide. This here has a little tip in it. This gorgeous celluloid surrounding this trapezoid here, like a little tip right in the center here. And it was actually just a small piece of felt attached there for another felt grip. Going down to the bottom, here we have Eddie Lang and Harry Reasoner. The Lang actually came in two sizes. Discovery that didn't become known until not too long ago between me and another collector, and which we were surprised. Prior to that, we had no knowledge. Lang being largely distributed and marketed by Gibson. It has this corrugation on the back, two pieces of rubber on top with his last name in raised letters in rubber. And Harry Reaser, same thing going on, black rubber, corrugation on the back and his name in raised letters there. Now we have the DeAndrea Crescent Grips down here, 1930s, from here over to here. Here's another Crescent Grip, but this was most likely made as an imitation copy from that still has yet to be identified manufacturer in the Chicago area. These actually all come from Germany, but they're not German-made. They're definitely U.S.-made Crescent Grips. Actually, I think 2 of these were from the U.S. and the rest were Germany. It's been some time since I acquired those. But we'll do a few close-up shots here, and we're almost to the end. But I can't tell you much about these 4 picks here, A, B, C, and D. They are all made of celluloid. They've got rubber attachments or some funky looking thing going on here, a piece of material with some metal. And I don't know what it was used for. And this is wild here, this 6-sided pick right here at the far right bottom. Very unusual. And this with a rubber on it, I don't know what's going on there because I've never seen nothing in that color before. Certainly a banjo shape. Perhaps my favorite of the group is what we call a sink drain pick. It's the Elton Shore Ventilator Grip right here. And it sure does look like a sink drain though. Look at that. Made of brass. A hole in the pick. One end attached to another. This was obviously done in 2 pieces that were put together over the celluloid. And the celluloid type, of course, is our wheat straw pattern. And this is actually in a circa 1955 catalog. And we'll be looking at that catalog down the road. But for right now, we're going to move this out of the way, do a few close-ups, and do a few patents here, because it could sound like I'm just pulling a lot of this information out of the hat here, which really isn't the case. I actually look for verification the best I can, and here we have the Seidel patent, as you see, 3 picks right there, and the Seidel 3 picks, 1904. My hand wrote that in there because it wasn't too clear at the printing. So there we have the Seidel. Next we have the Gaynor. Here's the Gaynor. Sure enough, patent information here at the top in case you wish to investigate. 1911. Next we have the Knackstedt right here. Rubber plug right there. As you can see, the patent actually illustrated 4. There's no such copy, none will exist. And when it was finally brought to market, it only had 3. There we go for the Knackstedt. Next in line is our Birdwise pick. Here in Burdwise actually had 3 patents for picks. Let's get him over here. There he is with his wire loop grip. Here in Birdwise, 1918. Right there. Wire loop pick. And last we have the Carpenter and Towner, as shown there in a half grip. We had several examples of that, all saying patented. Obviously he did variations on his patent when he finally brought it to market. Now getting back to that unique British pick, 1924 is the actual date on it. I wrote it down in hand because I only copied this one page here, but there is additional information on this. And the patent number is here too. If you were to look into patents from England, it's 219184 from 1924. Just truly, truly amazing. Get a close-up of that there, a little detail. Having a problem with focus. There we go. It appears to be some marks that were placed in, I suspect, for grip. Let's take a look at a few other close-ups here, such as the Crescent Grip. You can see there's a piece of celluloid glued onto the celluloid pick. Very interesting. And the Gretchen on-skids with the anti-skid pads on both sides. And look at the variation in the heart sizes we're done on these. One is definitely from the Herald and Meinl, perhaps both because the celluloid looks the same. 1910. So there you have it for unusual grip picks. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Any questions, just drop me a line there. It'd be good to hear from you on YouTube. Thanks. Take care for now. Bye-bye.